Hello, beautiful Scorpio gang. Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. My name's Annie. I'm happy to have the Scorpios out there with me. Happy Scorpio full moon to you all today. I'm happy to have everyone. So this is going to be your May monthly tarot. These are messages that universe, God, spirit, whatever you believe in wants you to hear in the month of May. That doesn't mean necessarily everything is going to happen in May. You know, the alignment of your spiritual path is entirely up to you. You're going to be in the driver's seat, but here are some messages if you're looking for something coming in. So the first half will be career and finances. The second half, or I should really say I'm going to do it in 3 parts. Career and finances, love, and then I'm kind of leaving a TBD section for any remaining messages that want to come through. It may have to do with something that's already sort of been described in your reading. It could be brand new messages, so we'll leave the door open for that. I just heard leave the portal open. The portal, that sounds fun. All right. I'm seeing something about driving through a bridge. So I don't know if some of you are traveling or trying to get to somebody where you have to go through a tunnel. Yeah, specifically like a dark tunnel where there's lights. It's actually making me think of that movie, Perks of Being a Wallflower, where something about the term I feel infinite, right? It's just like flying and feeling the wind and the air in your hair. Witchy vibes, Scorpio. It's very witchy. I love it. All right. We'll take 3 more cards for Scorpio. All right, everything else about this video will be down in the box below for you guys, including the decks I'm using here today, as well as my social media. I'm the Intuitive Teacup on Facebook and Instagram. Like, share, subscribe wherever you can, including on this video. And just for the newbies here on YouTube, it's general messages is what I'm throwing at you. So that means not everything I say will resonate. It's up to you to come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind. I ask that ultimately you only take away the messages that resonate for you, okay? Everything else, release, push those aside. It could be quite possible that something may come into play later on for you. But yeah, anyway, let's hop in. Enough rambling. I feel like I did a terrible intro. That was just all over the place, but I'm ready to read for you, so let's do that. All right, so bottom of your deck is beautiful. You have Judgment and I almost said Sagittarius, like knee-jerk reaction. So New Judgment with a Sagittarius. Is there a Sagittarius that plays a particularly dominant role in your life, or that used to? Judgment, it frequently ends up going back to the past. Interesting, and that whole idea of like the portal, I don't think that's literal, guys, but something about with Judgment, like waking the dead, a resurrection of sorts. So this could indicate if you have a spirit guide that is a Sagittarius, they may be trying to communicate with you. And I mean, it could be about your career, right? It could also indicate a past relationship with, it could be a coworker, it could be someone that you loved. And I mean, I do want to say it's someone that you love. You probably already know who this is, even if it is an ancestor coming to visit you, because it is depicted as Archangel Michael, Temperance. It is a card of needing to be patient, but also alchemy, mixing up ingredients. So something about that may have to do with what you do for work, mixing up the ingredients, particularly if you're literally a chef or doing something like that. More than anything though, guys, tarot speaks in metaphors. So sometimes when I say something about mixing the ingredients, that's up for you to decide what those ingredients are in your life, right? But yeah, looking back, this is very spiritual, very kind of like biblical. This seems very like heavy energy. And yeah, so for a lot of you, it's a past lover. And if it doesn't have to do with a lover that you've met in this lifetime already, this is almost like you've opened a new door in your spiritual path. And what I think you're about to shine the light on, your internal light that becomes the star in your sky, there's either union or reunion, particularly with a soulmate, with a divine pairing, a divine counterpart. But in this energy of the full moon, depending on when you're watching this, it may have already passed, but I mean, you can still harness that energy of closing out major cycles. And with Scorpio, it's all about death and transformation, rebirth, right? So there's major shifts and there's major changes happening in the collective consciousness right now. So you're being asked to really turn inward, to look in the mirror and essentially look at, I hate to say it, but like the ugly side, right? Of what you don't like, things that have held you back, things that, it's almost like the frustrations you feel towards yourself, rather than being ashamed and embarrassed about it, it's about looking it head on in the mirror and being like, I don't like this and this is what I'm going to change. And then the reverse of that, right? It's looking at myself and going, oh my God, you're a fucking masterpiece. Like, look at you crushing it, girl or guy, right? There's something about needing to really, reconcile the difference between yourself of what you don't like versus what you do, because that is going to help you progress. Excuse me. Frog in my throat. Kissing a few frogs to meet that prince, am I right? Anyway, there's something about that where being able to look at yourself and reconcile the things that you do and don't like, ultimately it's accepting it all, warts and all, right? Because you wouldn't have gotten to where you are currently in your life had you not had to grapple with things that were quite tricky or difficult. And the opposite, all the tremendous passion and skills and talents that you have, we have to merge them together and ultimately accept them both as who we are. Something about the moon, the idea of, I've been getting this message a lot in metaphor, so I hope that it speaks to some of you out there. The idea of being the werewolf, right? He can only pretend to be a man for so long, but then, when that moon comes out, it's like, I'm going to howl at the moon because it's what I'm meant to do. It's like I intuitively feel it. And in a way, this is saying stop trying to control everything. Stop, holding on to things so tightly in order to feel secure and safe. Sometimes it's like giving it up to the moon. You want the moon, Mary? That's a good idea. I'll lasso the moon for you. That's my Jimmy Stewart impression. That was bad, you guys. No, but it's giving into our natural, in the natural order of things, but the true nature of who we are. There's a need to release control and give into like your God-given destiny, essentially. Some of you are healers and you don't know it yet. You haven't discovered that you have a beautiful gift to heal. And that some of you are destined to be mothers. And it's not necessarily in terms of, rocking the baby. Again, it's a metaphor. Some of you are divine healers, particularly my divine feminines out there. You are like a healer of the ages. You are a mother of earth, a mother of earthly beings. There's great mentorship and guidance around you. And it's almost like there's a graduation of sorts where there's a passing on of important knowledge to you, Scorpio, that you're meant to preach to the population or something like that. It's very heavy, but if that makes you sort of coil back in terms of like the focus on faith and divinity, it doesn't even have to necessarily be that, but it's saying there's something inside of you that needs to be unleashed because it's going to do good for those around you, right? So some of you may work in something that is community service based or helping the environment, something like that. You have a gift inside of you and it's a beautiful gift. It's all about unleashing the great warmth and light and love that exists within you. And quite frankly, when you do that, it's almost like it opens the door for partnership to come in. If anybody's looking for partnership, it opens that door up and allows, I just keep hearing union, beautiful union to come into place. So in terms of major arcana, you got a whole bunch here. You got the Empress, that's Taurus and Libra, the Moon, which is Piscean energy, sometimes Cancer energy as well. You have Gemini, you have Virgo, you have Sagittarius, and you have your own kind of scorpionic energy there. Oh, as well as Leo. This is the card of strength. How cool is this card? Every time I actually love this deck. This is called Triple Goddess Tarot. Honestly, it might be my favorite tarot deck ever. I get my water side takes over and I get so emotional when I look at these. I just think these two cards in particular, every time I see them, I have a visceral reaction. Is that the right word? Physiological? I feel the emotion, excuse me, in these cards so much. And so that may even be a message for you, Scorpios, indicative of doing something again because you feel it, because you know it to be true. But again, this whole metaphor of the man who can only pretend to be a man for so long before he's the wolf, that could even have to do with identity crisis is too harsh of a word, but there may be some sort of judgment, an epiphany, a realization. It's like you've been living a false life. You've been conforming and pretending to be someone that you weren't, but really it was just a matter of time before you came to that epiphany and ultimately transformed into the butterfly, right? You were ready and waiting because it was safe there. It was the comfort zone. The upside down four in tarot is all about comfort zone. There's a knocking on your door. Again, for most of you in metaphor, it might be literal. But if it is, it's probably from a water sign, a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. It's aligning you to your true path and your destiny. I mean, I have to admit, these messages are really heavy. These are really intense messages, right? I know you guys are just so am I going to get that job at the bank that I applied to? Because this full moon is happening in your scorpionic energy, which is about major awakenings and major, in a sense, a crisis of faith, but it's to get us to where we're supposed to be. So if everything's feeling super duper weird right now, I'm just going to say it like this because it's funny. It makes it a little bit lighter. It's because you're meant to be the werewolf. Stop pretending that you're not, right? That moon comes out and you're like, don't do it. Don't do it. And that can be a metaphor for so many things. It could be leaving a relationship that you've been in for 10 years, but it's comfortable. You know them, but taking that risk to go after your true calling and be with your soulmate, which, by the way, your soulmate seems like they're coming in somewhere in here, particularly if it's a Gemini. If it's not that, I mean, it could also be, you know, working a job that you don't feel satisfied. It's not saying it's bad. Again, everything up until this point has served you, but I'm sort of getting, you guys are meant to be a butterfly. You're meant to move forward. There's supposed to be progression and forward movement with that Knight of Cups. It has to do with your true identity and aligning with what your heart truly wants, your love. Yeah, it's like, for me, sometimes this is a card of nostalgia and going back to the past. And it absolutely could be, depending on your romantic life, right? But, and your work, your career life for that matter. For a lot of you, though, it's less about partnership than it is honoring the inner child. Going back to the past and asking, what is it that I really first got excited about when I was, out, whatever, fresh out of college and ready to, receive the abundances from the world and, put myself out there. What is it that you really wanted? And I'm sort of getting, did you drink the Kool-Aid? Did you conform? And I'm just posing these questions, right, Scorpio? There's something about, there was a part of you that was very afraid to speak your truth or afraid to present your heart and be vulnerable and, honest and truthful about what it is that you really want. So you may have conformed because you felt like it was safer. Something about putting your defenses up with people, not letting them in. Yeah, I'm sort of getting it's time to be exposed. It's time to speak your truth with clarity and honesty and vulnerability about what it is that you really want to do. Because something about that has to do with like an intuitive gift, or I heard clairsentience. So sensing things, that's a skill. That's almost like your superpower. So if you're sensing that something isn't right, that's because it's not. If you're sensing that there's someone else out there for you, or there's some other place, or there's some other X, Y, and Z, you need to honor that feeling. There's something about trying to maintain control. Again, something about waking the dead. Look at this picture. I literally can't look at it because I'm going to get all emotional. Like, this card will make me cry if I look at it too much. Some of you may be wanting to work with animals or heal animals. Bring something back to life that you thought had passed. You thought the opportunity was gone. It could literally be the idea of a past relationship that has ended, for better or worse. And I mean, it is for better. I don't know why I said it that way. There's a resurrection of something. It could be resurrecting your childhood identity, what you wanted to do as a child. It could be a relationship again from the past. It could also be, some sort of career or skill or talent or hobby that got put on the back burner. And then I am sort of getting, it fizzled out. It died. But this is saying, wake up. We're not done yet. Like, again, let's get this wolf up and running. So I'm going to stop with this cheesy metaphor, but I'm hammering it home because it's very crucial. It's a very important metaphor for this whole reading. You've been trying to resist the beast, your carnal desire, who it is that you really are. You've been suppressing that. You've been keeping it, undercover, so to say. Undercover, I love it. It's time to wake up that inner being, that beautiful, innocent, childlike being where it doesn't go around questioning, why am I a child? How did I get here? I just am. This is who I am. This is like liberation and freedom to be who you really are, to find your true identity. And I'm going to say it this way, to re-find your identity. You knew who you were ages ago, but somewhere along the way, some of you feel like you got lost, or something about it got put on the back burner or shelved for another day. And I do get that there was time here. I'm even hearing 20 years with Judgment. It's revisiting something that you thought was long gone, that actually the universe is trying to get it to resurface, because at very minimum, even if this doesn't indicate a lover, it indicates this is something you love, and it's like a good choice for you. It would be a good decision for you to move towards who or what you love, okay? All right, this reading is completely not going in the direction I was anticipating that it would go in terms of like career, love, but I can't so much worry about the format of these readings. It's more about the messages that come through. So for those who are showing up and wanting to hear about career, let's try for those messages and see what comes out. So for career, you have Queen of Wands, you have Three of Pentacles. So yeah, some of you are going to start building your own business, and it's very unique. It's very witchy in the sense that it might not be a mainstream thing, but it's something that you have electricity, you have passion when you think about creating this structure, when you think about building that business, when you think about creating that team of people that you want to build something with, or grow a business, particularly if you work in some sort of team dynamic, 2s, 3s, 4s. You may have to step up as the actual leader of the group, because you are not meant to stand at the sidelines. And there's two things with that message. You're not meant to stand at the sidelines and be like essentially like the bitch, like do the bitch work. Sorry, I have to be honest. It also says you're not supposed to stand at the sidelines, even in a power or a leadership position, and be barking orders. This is work hard, play hard. This is about getting your hands dirty as well. So yeah, I don't know why I'm almost getting like football coach on the sidelines. It's like, don't tell me how to run the ball. Like, get your ass out here and do it yourself. Like, so you may even be in a dynamic where there's a little bit of like, quarrelsome, is that a word? There may be argumentative energy, but something about this, it's meant to allow you to rise above, potentially rise above the rest and stand out. I'm getting major Leo and Aries vibes from this, and it is a fire sign. So I don't know if some of you have like a moon or a rising that would be a fire sign, because something about this, it's literally like it's on fire. It feels really energized. But you have to recognize that you're meant to receive great recognition and success, and maybe that intimidates you. Okay, so I mentioned the perks of being a wallflower, that movie, right? And then going through the tunnel, right? To get to the other side, this transformative energy. This is about pulling my Scorpios away from the wall. You're no longer meant to be a wallflower. You're meant to grow and develop and almost like stand in the middle of the circle, in the middle of the ring. Now I'm getting like boxing ring, something about that. But yeah, it's like work hard, play hard. You got to put in the fight, but my goodness, there will be recognition here. And sometimes this can be like the celebrity queen, the actress, the singer, the dancer, the model, male or female, right? It doesn't have to be a career that is entertainment industry focused, but it's saying there would be a lot of recognition in whatever you're trying to create or build, potentially in the community, even if you do work as a healer or with animals or, whatever it is, it doesn't matter, but I just keep hearing you're going to be recognized for your accomplishments or what you have to offer. It's not just in a team, though. It's whatever your team is contributing to society. There's major success here. That red ribbon, it's that red passion, and I'm hearing it's unfaltering, it's unwavering, it's work hard, play hard, that die hard mentality of I'm just going to do it. You will. If you believe that, if you absolutely are certain this is my career and I'm going to succeed in it, I love it so much I feel like magnetically drawn to it, well, damn girl, get it. Like that's what it is. Then that's confirmation. You guys know that you are meant to do that. It may involve going back to school or doing a little bit of research. If it doesn't necessarily have to mean getting a new degree, but I'm getting like a lot of research and studies, looking through books. And something about looking into the emotion, I don't know what that even means. Looking into the emotion of it all. Maybe it's like this idea of psychology of why do I feel this way when I do it this way? And yeah, I do think it's tapping into your internal energies of why you're choosing to do something versus why you're opposed to it. There is a sense of examining your truth and also being okay with, I don't want to mix up the message. Absolutely, if you feel called towards something, do it. But there is a message here about needing to be flexible in your approach to getting to the end goal, the victory. The end goal doesn't need to change. The way you go about it might. There needs to be some, and that can be hard for you, right? A fixed zodiac sign, Scorpio. You might be extremely stubborn in your mentality or the way you're trying to accomplish something. There's nothing wrong with what you're trying to accomplish, but it's almost like you maybe just need to breathe. It's almost like you've been so engulfed and wrapped up in the material that you've lost sight of the project entirely, or something about not being able to see the forest from the trees. You need to step back. You need to see it in a new light. Maybe at night, maybe in the moonlight. I don't know what that has to do with it, but what you're doing is good. Don't stop. If you believe it's what you're supposed to do, by all means, you could be a trailblazer. I'm kind of getting with that. But if you're struggling to get something right and every which way you turn it, it's just not working, you need to release. Rather than forcing the puzzle piece to fit, give it a day, give it an hour, give it a week, give it a couple months. There will be new sparks, new creative sparks that come to you. But it does have to do with releasing control of a very fixed or set plan, order, outcome. I'm almost getting like manuscripts or like a play-by-play, a document that maps out step 1, step 2, step 3. There's something about and maybe some of you are writing a book and you're rearranging the storyline or the characters, but there's something about just because it says step 2 doesn't mean you have to do it in that order. It's something about, well, what if we put this one here and tried that one there? Again, mixing up of the ingredients, there's going to be illumination, and it's going to make the path that you're following to get to this career more visible. It won't just be this dim light in your lantern. Slowly there'll be progress where it's like, I see it now. Like I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's clear to me now. This is the way to go. But yeah, right now, some of you are sort of in darkness and you're not understanding why something isn't working. For a lot of you, flat out, you're working in a team of 3 or 4 and it's just not working for you. You have ideas, but if you're constantly being put down or pushed to the side, it's saying, well, why are you letting them push you to the side? Like, you're meant to stand out from the pack. The wolf pack. Right? My goodness. All these, and the wrestlers, right? Wasn't that some wrestler's slogan? Wolfpack's in the house. This is dating me back to grade school when all my brothers and boy cousins were like, yeah, pro wrestling. I don't know. Wolfpack's in the house. I don't even know what that means. But, wolf spirit, those oracle cards, a lot of people connect with that. The moon dogs, the singers howling at the moon. There might be something to that. Doing something at night, something about the career that you do at night. Are you up all hours of the night working on this? I mean, if that's the case, I'm not saying don't burn the candle at both ends. But this could even be understanding that you need to arrange your schedule to harness take advantage of your creative passion and your spirit. And it could be that you feel more creative at night, right? In which case you need to cater to that, right? You need to work around the obstacles because, again, it's not saying give up on the dream, but it's saying if you're a painter and for some reason 11 o'clock p.m. or 11 at night, that's your hour where you get shit done and you feel very accomplished and you like it, well, then you need to cater your day to work around that. Do you understand what I'm saying? You guys get it. I'm harping on this. All right, so last messages in love. Six of Wands. Yeah, there's a victory. There's a victory coming up for you. A judgment. Keep exploring whatever you're toying with or flirting with. Even in sense of romance, there's something there where it hasn't reached its full potential. But again, with that Scorpio full moon, you guys, there's good fortune coming up for you guys. You may be feeling exhausted and wanting to give up the fight, but what you don't realize, 9 of Wands, wounded warrior, you're so damn close to that victory. It's like you can taste it, you can smell it. So don't give in to the negative thoughts, especially the people who are contradicting you or something about people who use fear to control you. Well, that's not, financially a good idea. You don't have the resources. You don't have the time. Like, fuck them. Like, this is saying stand your ground, put up the fight. Don't give in to the naysayers. Just because they don't see your vision doesn't mean that you need to start, taking on that energy of, yeah, you're right. I don't really see it either. No. You probably are going to have to take a leap of faith. It might be slightly uncomfortable. It may involve putting negative thoughts to bed and finally releasing all this mental confusion or chaos that isn't serving you. But yeah, I just keep wanting to say you guys are healers. You're divine healers, and maybe you've been spending too much time focusing that on other people. You do need to focus on healing yourselves. Transformation, right? Try something new. Nothing will ever change if we stay in exactly the same spot, in the same mindset, in the same, emotional realm, or however you want to phrase it. There's major change coming in, but I think some of you need to give into the fear. Understand where that fear comes from. And when you do, it's going to make your approach easier the next time around. There's victory there. All right, so let's look into your love life for my Scorpios. You have 9 of Pentacles. That's my single ladies card. A beautiful, lush, abundant lifestyle that you have or are in the process of creating for yourself. To me, this card always says, whether you're single or not, and I am reading for romance, so I'm going to go with that. And you might be with someone, but they're saying there's that one extra pentacle I'm thinking of that I'm lacking. It's like, I'm really proud of my accomplishments. I can look around and I can see the fruits of my labor, all my hard work and my energy and my endeavors. I see the evidence of this beautiful life I've created for myself. But gosh, there's one more thing I want. And because this is showing up in your romance spread, I'm taking this to mean a lot of you are either single and looking, or you're with someone, but it's lackluster. You may have decided that you no longer wish to grow and build with them, right? There's something else exotic you're looking at, right? The peacock. I'm actually hearing peacocking as showing off. You may have gotten yourself into a relationship that looked good on the surface and you had a tremendous pride of, I am sort of getting the visual aesthetics, particularly if you're with a Leo, a sense of pride when you get to walk in the room next to that person, but on the inside there was something that you guys weren't real soulmates. I hope that's making sense. I think some of you Scorpios are starting to realize the illusion of exterior beauty versus interior beauty. I think a lot of you got into a relationship, potentially with a fire sign. It's showing up right under this, an Aries, Leo, Sag. It doesn't have to be. Where the outside looked great. You know, they had a good body, they were sexy, they were this, they were that. It could even be they said the right things. Like, the actions, though, didn't match what they were saying, or vice versa. There was more to be seen about this person who was peacocking. They were putting on an act, and I think a lot of you are growing sick of that. You're growing weary, and so maybe that's you, or if you're single, it's indicating you're trying to manifest potentially a Cancer with the High Priestess, or a Pisces, but manifest someone better, someone more spiritual, someone who's more in alignment with what you want. It could be an Aries for some of you, or a Taurus. And this is saying to me, I use this metaphor in every video, I'm sorry, but it makes so much sense to me as a reader. Rather than settling for the low-hanging fruit, right? It's there, right? We think of the apple, right? Temptation, right? It's there. It's, you know, you can reach out and grab it. But that doesn't mean it's delicious. That doesn't mean it's satisfying. This to me is saying you're willing to reach up higher. You're willing to put in a little bit more effort. You're willing to be a little bit more patient if it means that you're going to usher in a new relationship with one who is satisfying, that is delicious. But this is saying you have to set your higher expectations maybe, right? Yeah, there's definitely something to that where you're willing to sort of go up on your tippy toes. And okay, there's so many messages coming through. Like reaching up to the tree, right? Reaching up to the sky to pick one that it's like heaven sent. But I'm also getting, this is so silly, but a relationship with someone who, if you know who this is or who you're trying to manifest, a relationship with someone who's actually taller than you, so when you have to kiss them, you have to go up on your tippy toes. That's really funny. And it could go vice versa. It could indicate that you're much taller than your person, but someone who is the tree, someone who's well-rooted, someone who will bark and howl at the moon with you. You got to find yourself another wolf man. All right, I've decided that's what I'm going to call your video. All these wolf man metaphors, but Scorpio full moon, baby. Desire, temptation, right? I mean, you are the house of sex and death, right? Sexual desire, that carnal desire, that's important. There's no need to brush that off as, oh, I'm just being, you know, how embarrassed. Like, and I mean, you don't think that way anyway, but like, yeah, it's like you don't need to be, what is a good word for it? Oh, help me out here, Spirit. What is the word I'm looking for? Modest, maybe? You need to be very truthful with what it is that you want romantically, right? Even things that I'm not necessarily getting this as scorpionic energy, but things that you've either shied away from in the past or not wanting to actually admit that that was important to you. Maybe flat out, you've settled for people who didn't have money, but deep down you were like, I wish you had a big boy job. Like, I wish you weren't, you know, just working at Starbucks. And I'm not shitting on that. I'm saying there's something that you desire that you haven't actually been speaking to the universe that you really want in a partnership. So no shame, Scorpio. It's your life. You get to set the expectations wherever you want. And maybe that was a shitty example. I didn't at all mean to offend with that, but there's something in love where you've been settling for low-hanging fruit, but what you really wanted, it was higher up on the tree, but it took a little bit more patience to get there. But you guys are getting closer, really close. Yeah, the Archangel Michael, Judgment, the Six of Cups, the Lovers, and the Knight of Cups, they're pretty solid cards. So manifest it, baby. But don't let your dark thoughts, your negative thoughts, your self-doubt eat away at you, because that's going to delay the process even more, right? Then it's something about clouded judgment of, oh, I really, really want this one. I've been manifesting it. I've been working at it. But then this other one comes along and I could have it now. I could just reach out for it and, bite into that delicious apple, but it's not really the one you want. This is all about temptation to me. A very interesting metaphor. High Priestess, though, you already know what you want. So, don't falter from that. Again, unwavering dedication in your career. You need to apply that into your love life too. Unfaltering in what it is that you desire in a romantic relationship. All right, tell me in a few more cards, what can Scorpio sort of expect if they continue down this path of manifestation and waiting for the right one versus, and I mean, I'm very sex positive. It doesn't mean you can't jump into bed with anyone that you want. But if you go in with expectations of, oh, well, this next bed hopper, they could be the one, that's probably not how it's going to work for you. With Pentacle energy, it's going to happen slowly over time, organically. This doesn't really have the energy of hot, passionate, wild sex the first time you guys meet. It just doesn't. Look at these cards, right? The High Priestess, very cool. It's very calm. It's very collected, right? It's like meditative sex, right? Water energy, right? Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, right? That's you. You're manifesting someone for the long haul. Something about it can stream through time. Sounds like bad poetry. All right, so you have, let's see, the Queen of Swords and the Three of Hats. So yeah, they came in reverse, but is my deck reversed? Oh, my deck is kind of reversed. But anyway, the energy is here nonetheless. So potentially an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Yeah, maybe a reunion with an air sign. That this to me indicates they're probably a friend of yours, but you may have never seen them in a romantic setting. But something about they match your colors, and especially if this is a same-sex relationship too. The red and the red would be a good pair. Something about rose red, the color red, or roses. Somebody who gave you roses in the past, a bouquet of roses. I'm not sure what that is. But they're the one that stands out from the other two. Do you know what I mean? So if you're reuniting with a group of friends, I'm hearing like college friends or something from the past. It doesn't have to be ages ago. It could be 2 years ago and you haven't seen someone in a while. There might be a nice little pairing there. It doesn't mean it has to be for eternity, but if that's what you're looking for, there's something that's very solid and well-rooted. This person is probably well off or well established in their finances. Possibly another an earth sign, Taurus. I am all over the place. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or maybe an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I am getting reconciliation, reunion. I heard graduation. It could have been someone you graduated with, whatever that even means, right? That could be something, just a course you guys took together for fun. It could be college. It could be elementary school. Maybe you graduated with this person in the 3rd grade and that was a very special moment for you guys. I don't know. You got good stuff coming in. 3 of Cups. Happy energy. This could be like a small date or, again, a reconciliation or reunion with someone. Certainly with an air sign, a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I don't know why I'm wanting to say wands, though. Flamingos in this deck are swords. Yeah, flamingos are swords in this deck. So new communication. I like that. But I'm also being called to say maybe fire signs. All these red. It's drenched in red, which to me is such indicative of like wand energy, passion, fire. Aries, Leo, Sag. Doesn't have to be though. All right, then for remaining messages that want to come in, yeah, there's some sort of trigger where you decide to approach something in your life a different way. It could be your career, it could be your job, and it's soulmate energy. It's divinely guided. You are meant to go through almost this what is a good term for it? It's a milestone, right? Any 4 in tarot, it's a safety zone, it's a comfort zone. This is a positive one because wands indicate there's still room for growth. So you reach some sort of milestone in your career or in a relationship where it feels like celebrating. It feels like a party. It feels like a wedding, right? And something about their celebration with the garland or the floral, you may be putting flowers around somewhere. And what am I trying to say? It's like a victory arch. I heard victory march though, as I said that. A victory march, or some of you marching in I don't know what. March, a victory march. The month of March could have been significant, particularly in your love life. Anyway, you know when you run a race at the end, you cross the banner and like your chest breaks it open? That's what this feels like to me. It's like you've reached the end, but it's really just the beginning. And I mean, that's cycles, right? That's tarot. That's what this Scorpio full moon is about. You've reached the ending of something. You can release, you can relax, you can let go, but then be ready to welcome in whatever it is you're wishing for or desiring, because you're already halfway there. You're already off and running to achieve your wishes. This is also saying to me something that you've been wishing for a long time. It does start to come in for you. It may not come in full abundance all at once, but there will be noticeable evidence of all the work you've been doing on yourself, on your relationship, on your job. There's a shift. I heard tectonic plates. There's a shift in the land. There's a shift in the earth and the grounds and what you're trying to build. It's okay. That's a metaphor. It's fertile ground. There's room for great change and potential in the seeds that you've already sown, in the seeds that you've already planted. So you're going to start seeing them pop up, right? That's a beautiful metaphor for springtime and summertime. Some of you are literally gardening, right? And you're starting to see the evidence of what you've harvested, right? Yeah, that's important for you guys. All right, Scorpio, you have beautiful cards. Like, I just keep wanting to show them to you because there really aren't a lot of bad messages here. Just don't sink into this lack state, this depression, even laziness, right? Now is not the time for laziness when you have the action queen coming up, right? Ugh, you have all my favorite cards. It's pulling at my heartstrings. All right, you guys, thanks for joining me today. Happy Scorpio full moon. And yeah, I will see you very soon for more tarot. And like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what resonates. Bye, Scorpio.